Long before the arrival of Jurgen Klopp, the shining beacon for Reds fans, Liverpool endured a very difficult period, remaining a mid-table Premier League team. The bad season occurred precisely in the 2009 to 2010 season, when coach Rafael Benitez, who had contributed a lot to the club during his 6-year tenure, was fired due to a series of poor performances by the Reds, who at that time were only able to finish in 7th place in the Premier League and failed to qualify for European competition that season. Furthermore, the club was in a very poor financial position under owners Tom Hicks and George Gillett, with concerns of bankruptcy. This decline continued for the next few seasons, including a difficult period under manager Roy Hodgson in the 2010 to 2011 season. The Reds' slump that season was further compounded when their star striker Fernando Torres decided to leave for Chelsea in January 2011, which was one of the most dramatic and painful moments for Reds supporters, occurring right in the middle of a period of declining club performance, or often called Liverpool's dark era. The transfer was a huge undertaking, costing £50 million. However, behind the striker's departure, there was a glimmer of hope for Liverpool supporters. With the money from Torres' sale, Liverpool acquired 2 strikers at once. However, of those 2, only one truly shone a light on Liverpool and their fans: Luis Suarez. At that time, in January 2011, Liverpool were in 7th place. While that wasn't a great position, Liverpool were still in a positive mood. Not only did they have a new owner, but the Kop had also just appointed club legend Kenny Dalglish as manager. Fans believed Dalglish could lead Liverpool to a brighter future after a dismal first half of the season under Roy Hodgson. Meanwhile, in the Premier League title race, Chelsea sits in 4th place, 10 points behind first place Manchester United. This has undoubtedly angered Roman Abramovich, who must find a way to get the Blues back in contention. From there, a series of sensational transfers occurred on deadline day in January 2011. It began with the hijacking of Liverpool striker Fernando Torres, who ended his successful spell on Merseyside and moved to Stamford Bridge for £50 million, breaking the British transfer record at the time. In 2011, £50 million was a lot of money. It could have been used to buy many top-class young players. Liverpool used the money from the Torres sale to find a replacement. They even splurged on 2 strikers at once, Luis Suarez and Andy Carroll. Liverpool had actually anticipated Torres' departure well in advance. So, even before Torres submitted his transfer request, Liverpool already had a replacement option. That person was Luis Suarez from Ajax Amsterdam. The Uruguayan striker was purchased for £22.8 million. Despite securing Suarez, the Merseyside club remains hesitant. Suarez is considered to have no Premier League experience. Indeed, Suarez possesses undeniable goal-scoring ability. But perhaps the Reds would like to learn from the experience of Dirk Kuyt, who also came from the Dutch league. Kuyt was signed after averaging 20 goals per season with Feyenoord, becoming the Eredivisie's top scorer. However, after joining Liverpool, his abilities declined. Kenny Dalglish didn't want to take the risk of relying solely on Suarez as Torres' replacement. Moreover, Fernando Torres' departure was a deep wound for Liverpool fans. The Spanish striker was Liverpool's goal machine, capable of scoring double-digit goals every season. He also broke several club and Premier League records. Although he didn't bring any silverware to Anfield, he was deeply loved by the Reds fans. That's why Dalglish wanted a player who already knew the ins and outs of Premier League football. As a result, Andy Carroll was brought in from Newcastle for £35 million. Andy Carroll was indeed a player who attracted attention at that time. With the Magpies, he was touted as the next Alan Shearer. This was because he led the Magpies to promotion to the Premier League in the 2009 to 2010 season, and by the halfway point of the 2010 to 2011 season, he had scored 11 goals and provided 8 assists in just 19 games. Carroll is a striker who relies on his size. With his towering stature, he is one of England's best headers. His height also makes him a constant source of trouble for opposing defenses, especially from free kicks and corners. Unlike Suarez, he's not a striker who relies on his size. Like other Latin American players, Suarez excels in speed and ball skills. These abilities make him one of the deadliest strikers in the Eredivisie. For example, in the 2009-10 season, Suarez scored 49 goals and 24 assists in just 48 matches, leading Ajax to the KNVB Cup title that season. His goal-scoring prowess was also evident at the 2010 World Cup. With Uruguay, he scored 3 goals, just 2 fewer than Diego Forlan. Despite his undeniable skill, Suarez was bought for a lower price than Andy Carroll. Carroll was indeed priced higher than Luis Suarez, but his on-field performances proved otherwise. It's no exaggeration to say that Andy Carroll's career at Liverpool was a disaster. At that time, Carroll arrived at Anfield with a previous injury. He had to wait 2 months to make his debut, and his first goal came in April in a 3-0 win over Manchester City. In total, he only played 9 games and scored 2 goals in the 2010-2011 season. And it turns out the problem wasn't just about injuries, but also that Carroll couldn't follow the playing style that Kenny Dalglish wanted. From this point on, the flop purchase status was firmly etched on Carroll's forehead. Furthermore, his fate became even more uncertain after Dalglish left Liverpool in 2012. Fortunately, Liverpool still had Suarez, who made the difference. This was evident from day one. Suarez made his debut on February 2nd, 2011 against Stoke City. At the time, Suarez was only a substitute, coming on in the 63rd minute to replace Fabio Aurelio. Shortly after, in the 79th minute, he scored his first goal. His debut immediately made headlines in the British media the following day. Suarez instantly became a sensation in England. Reds fans, heartbroken by Torres' departure, had found their new hero. By the end of the 2010-2011 season, Suarez had scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists in 13 appearances. At the end of that season, Liverpool finished in 6th place. But at least Luis Suarez was able to soothe the pain of the Reds fans' departure after Torres left, especially since Torres turned out to be a failure at Chelsea. The 2011-2012 season, his first full season at Anfield, was a mixed bag for Suarez. He continued to be the Reds' leading goalscorer, but he was also shrouded in controversy, particularly the racism case involving him and Patrice Evra. His actions earned Suarez an 8-match ban. Despite the controversy, Suarez began to establish himself as a lethal striker in England. He was perfectly suited to the short ball style that Kenny Dalglish wanted to maximize. Suarez is also capable of being present in all areas of the Reds' attack. He can focus his energy on roaming the front third, making him a constant threat to opposing defenders. At the end of the 2011-2012 season, Suarez led Liverpool to victory in the League Cup, their first trophy in 6 years. He also led the club to the FA Cup final, amidst a Liverpool squad that at the time featured mediocre players, aside from captain Steven Gerrard and himself. Unfortunately, Liverpool lost to Chelsea in the FA Cup final, but that proved to be manager Kenny Dalglish's final season at Anfield. After leading Liverpool to 8th place in the Premier League, he was sacked. That's also what nearly led Suarez to leave for Juventus in 2012. Luckily, ahead of the 2012-2013 season, Liverpool managed to bring in Brendan Rodgers after his stellar career at Swansea, and the Northern Irishman's first task was to convince Suarez to stay. The coach presented his vision of the game, characterized by a fluid, tiki-taka-like style of football. Suarez's unconventional playing style coincidentally suited Rodgers' tactics. This convinced Suarez to continue his career at Anfield. In 2012, I wanted to go to Juventus, but Rodgers convinced me to stick with his playing ideas, he said. During Rodgers' tenure, he removed Andy Carroll from Liverpool's attack and signed new striker Fabio Borini from AS Roma. This left Suarez as the only senior striker in the squad. Suarez's role had completely reversed, from being previously untrusted in the Premier League to now serving as a role model and mentor for the then 21-year-old Borini. As the club's only senior striker, Suarez's responsibility increased. Fans demanded consistency from him in every match. By the end of the 2012 to 2013 season, he had delivered. Suarez scored 30 goals and provided 13 assists in 44 appearances across all competitions. This included 23 goals and 11 assists in 33 league appearances. Unfortunately, Liverpool remained trophyless that season. They finished 7th, again missing out on a European spot. It was this desire to continue playing in European competition that led Suarez to rethink his move from Liverpool to Arsenal, who were then regularly playing in the Champions League. However, his plans were thwarted after captain Steven Gerrard offered valuable advice regarding his future. At the time, Arsenal made a £40 million plus £1 offer, which they believed would trigger Suarez's release clause. However, the Reds' management flatly rejected the offer. Steven Gerrard then intervened. The Liverpool legend convinced Suarez that staying another season would open the door to Europe's elite clubs. I wanted to leave because Arsenal regularly played in the Champions League. But Gerrard came up to me during training. He said, "Listen, I was close to joining Real Madrid too, but the best decision was to stay. If you go to Arsenal, it won't help your career," he said. A failed move didn't diminish Luis Suarez's prowess at Liverpool in the 2013 to 2014 season. In fact, it only grew stronger. Together with Daniel Sturridge, Suarez formed the most lethal duo in England at the time. Not to mention Coutinho, who provided attacking creativity behind them. As a result, Suarez became the Premier League's top scorer with 31 goals, winning the Golden Boot and the Premier League Player of the Season. He transformed Liverpool's dark era into a beacon of hope for Premier League success, a title the Anfield faithful had been pining for 24 years. Unfortunately, at the end of the 2013 to 2014 season, the Reds finished second, just 2 points behind eventual champions Manchester City. Some fans blame Steven Gerrard's slip against Chelsea for Liverpool's defeat. The aftermath of the defeat against Chelsea ruined Liverpool's momentum for the league title. Furthermore, they could only manage a 3-3 draw in their final match of the 37th week against Crystal Palace, despite already being 3-0 up. Suarez broke down in tears on the pitch after the final whistle, as the title he had so clearly seen was slipping away. It was also Suarez's final season with the Reds. He eventually left Liverpool for Barcelona for a fee of £65 million, making him one of the most expensive players at the time. While at Liverpool, Suarez formed the duo SAS, an acronym for Suarez and Sturridge. At Camp Nou, he formed the MSN trio, arguably the best attacking trio ever. He also carved out an extraordinary career, winning everything. He left a significant legacy at Liverpool during his time with the Reds, both in terms of on-field performances and financial impact. Despite his reputation as a player with a madness and a genius on the pitch, Suarez remains recognized as one of the best players to ever wear a Liverpool shirt in the Premier League era, with his spectacular goals being a revelation.